Ducey's office. How can I help you?
Yeah, hey, is this Pat?
This is Patrick, yes.
Hey, Patrick, it's Gordon Rose. How are you this morning? If there's some mechanism inside of the law by where Lori Bustamante relinquishes her financial interest in Bustamante and Kuffner while she's a judge. However, it's our contention that by community law standards in the state of Arizona, eventually she's going to resume her position as that owner and or retire and be the citizen Lori Bustamante, wife of Manny Bustamante. So in essence, she currently right now in our view holds a financial interest in the success of this contract of Manny's being efficient. As a citizen of the United States of America and a former resident there, I'm going to tell you some things that are for the public good. We're at a point of critical mass, and what I mean by that, Patrick, is I've uncovered even more corruption this morning, and I haven't even published it yet, okay? You guys got to look at what I put up so far, and with what I'm about to publish.
I peddle your bad luck, peddle in my brains, baby, it's okay. I might have the guts to look you in the face. That won't change. It won't change a thing. Won't change a thing.
I found other evidence that Edward Maldonado is indeed not reformed whatsoever. Contrary, actually, he is ripping off Arizona consumers. You can find tons of information on this. That's just another piece of it, Patrick. So you've got this prosecutor basically sanctioning this crime.
You have reached attorney Ed Maldonado. I'm sorry that I've missed your call. Please leave your name, telephone number, and brief message, and I will return the call as soon as possible.
To leave a callback number, press 5.
Ed, I don't know how many more times I'm going to be able to call and offer you an opportunity to whistleblow. To last 24 hours, I don't know what, I'm trying to figure out, man, if you're just like in the middle of this thing, if you lead this thing, God keeps putting on my heart to call you, dude. All right, so let me give you an update. So first off, man, I've got all of it. I've got everything. Seriously. It's all backed up. Bro, I've got 2 agencies already plugged in. Okay, I got Safe Harbor with one agency for sure in Arizona. Okay, where they're going to protect me, bro. Do you understand? You guys aren't going to be able to get to me. You can try all you want. Okay, you guys. Somebody said I was threatening a judge today from Arizona and sent 4 Polk County police officers to my house in like raid style. You guys are cooked. Just stop already. Seriously. Tell Lori, tell Bill. I don't know if you're talking to Bill every day. I know you talk to Lori every day, I'm sure. Just tell him to give up already, bro. Give it up already. If you want to whistleblow, that's cool. But once I get into protection, I don't know if there's much else I can do for you. All I'm trying to do, okay, if you watch what I'm doing a public service, dude. That's it. I'm reporting what I'm finding. I'm using my skill set to out corruption. If you want to jump on board, just tell them to stop. Tell them to stop. And you know what? Jesus Christ, I pray to him every morning, dude. I'm like, Lord, please show me where it is. Boom. And he puts it in my lap. It's not going to get any better. It's just the mountain's going to fall right over on all you guys. Anyways, so I'm very clear in this message that I'm recording it. This is not a threat to bodily harm to anyone.
Governor Ducey's office. How can I help you?
Yeah, hey, is this Pat?
This is Patrick, yes.
Hey, Patrick, it's Gordon Rose. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
You know, I'm doing pretty well. So I'm glad we got a chance to talk again here. So I don't know if you've been following the website, but we're at a point of critical mass. And what I mean by that, Patrick, is I've uncovered even more corruption this morning. And I haven't even published it yet, okay? You guys got to look at what I put up so far. And with what I'm about to publish, I guess I'm going to ask again for the comment of, are you guys going to investigate the Bustamantes, yes or no? Do we know if we have a comment yet on that?
I'm not very familiar with what you're referring to, so at this point, no.
Okay, so let me get you, refresh you. Okay, so I'm calling Doug Ducey, governor of Arizona. I've left a voicemail at the governor's office. I filled out a form online today.
Governor Ducey's office, how can I help you?
Hey, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Hey, doing pretty well. My name is Gordon Rose. I'm a documentary filmmaker and investigative journalist for clipartistfilms.com. What's your name, sir?
My name is Patrick. Last name is Patak.
Patrick Patak. Nice to meet you, Patrick. What's your
Likewise.
What's your function over there at the governor's office?
I'm press secretary.
Press secretary. Great. Okay. So you're probably the first person I want to talk to. I went through a pretty long explanation to the your receptionist, but I can go through it again. So again, my name is Gordon Rose. I've been working on a documentary film since last year about the abuse of power by William Brotherton, Judge Brotherton, who you may or may not know is one of the worst offenders nationwide on the oversight website called rowprobe.com. And so I interviewed a family last year that got a fake Amber Alert, a father that got a fake Amber Alert called on him. His kids many years later are still going to counseling. So there's a lot of aspects to this story, but where I come into it personally, sir, is I used to be a resident of the state of Arizona, and I filed for a divorce in January of 2016. It's been going on about a year and a half. Bill Brotherton, well, saying he railroaded me would be a nice way to say it. So what I ended up doing was founding this film company last year, and the sole purpose of it was to do a documentary film about Bill Brotherton's abuse of power. Subsequent to me founding the media company, sir, there was a court hearing by where my attorney, David Goldfarb, asked that I appear telephonically, which I had done previous, and I got barred from the hearing, and they got a warrant issued for my arrest, and have my constitutional rights violated. And there's a lot more to support that particular issue and that claim. And then when David Goldfarb walked out of the courtroom, it was supposed to be a half-hour hearing, sir. It was a 90-minute hearing. He called me, made me aware that the warrant was issued for my arrest. He also informed me that another Maricopa County Court judge had pulled him aside and asked him, why haven't you resigned from the case yet? Mr. Goldfarb admitted this to me on phone, and subsequent to that hearing resigned. These are highlights and not even the most damaging things we've discovered. And let me back up a couple of steps. I went ahead and made a video. You can go to #TheUneven at Real Gordon Rose on Twitter. You can also go to clipartistfilms.com. You can also get there by forevereven.com. And I posted up a background video. You know, Bill Brotherton was the primary focus of the Uneven documentary originally.
Well, that's helpful. I wasn't sure, because this being the media line and I work a lot with the media, I wasn't sure if you're looking for some sort of a quote or something similar like that.
Can I make a suggestion, sir, if it's okay with you?
Hold on one second.
Sorry, yes.
I'll say too, we have obviously a legal team here. I don't know if you're looking for assistance with a legal case or something like that, or maybe a casework issue. So it is helpful to hear that, this is more of like a for your awareness type
yes.
message that I can, take down and keep here. Mm-hmm. Was there something else you wanted to add?
Yes, I do. If I could make a suggestion and say, if you're going to be at this point, my sole contact for press is if you go to the website, if you watch that video, there's probably 4 hours worth of content that's relevant to all this. But basically, I'm pleading my case in the media as well. The information that I was not allowed to table in court by getting shut up. So that might give you a better point of reference as well as to, just kind of what the goals are with the media campaign. And my goals moving forward are to, if possible, to have a good discourse with the state of Arizona, because my goals are to have Judge Bill Brotherton removed from the bench. And I'm going to expose any and all corruption in this court system. And, at this point, listen, it was, tagged by Jan Brewer. I'm familiar with the Arizona politics. If Arizona State wants to do something about this themselves and be proactive after reading the content, that's probably a good thing. So that was my suggestion.
Good to know. Well, can I get your name again, please, sir?
Sure. My first name is Gordon, Gordon. My last name is Rose, Rose. And my phone number is...
What's the name of your company?
Clip Artist Films, LLC. The website is clipartistfilms.com.
And your phone number?
678-901.
Sounds like we're missing a number there. You said 678.
And then do I have your permission to publish this call?
As in like recorded?
Yes.
I prefer you did not. Typically, if we're going to do like an interview or something, there's heads up given beforehand.
For sure.
So since that wasn't supplied, or you were mentioning any intention to use this in a publication, I'd prefer you not.
Yeah, no,
if that's something you want to do going forward, I would say just, be upfront about it, let us know what you're looking for, and, we're here to help.
Yeah, no, understand. And that wasn't the intention of telling you at the end. The intention was to catch a real reaction, and then if you wanted me to use it, cool, and if you don't, no. And you say, no, that's fine, okay? But moving forward...
That would be my preference.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, I respect that. Moving forward, should we pick a time to follow up, or should we just kind of leave it where it sits, or what's your suggestion there?
Well, I'd say follow up as need be.
Okay.
I have your information. You let me know sort of what you're working on, and if there's more information you want to provide, or there's something else to check in about, feel free to. You have our number, so we're always here.
Okay, fair enough. First off, Bill should have recused himself, which he didn't, of course. Instead, he put out a warrant for me and abused his power. Used the law as a utility to persecute me. And then when I waited months to get a new judge, and I figured, I'm going to give the state of Arizona the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's just a bad actor comes on board here, and it gets appointed as the judge for the case, and proceeded to try and complete Bill's railroad. After investigating, they're on the same board of trustees. There's a lot of conflicts that are going on here. So now we're investigating and looking into, there's a lot of contracts in place by cities. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a businessman turned a journalist. So take a layman's approach to it, but we are investigating those issues as well. I guess I'm going to ask again for the comment of, are you guys going to investigate the Bustamantes, yes or no? Do we know if we have a comment yet on that?
I'm not very familiar with what you're referring to, so at this point, no.
So let me get you, refresh you. If you go to forevereven.com, I'll just give you the Reader's Digest version. So Lori Bustamante recused herself. I just found that out this morning from my personal divorce case. When I originally started my documentary film, it was because Judge Brotherton was abusing power, not only with me, but just a lot of people. And I don't need to harp on that. It's in the public domain. It's self-evident, okay? He's a horrible judge, and there's that. When he found out I was making the documentary film, Patrick, he put a warrant out for my arrest for an arbitrary reason, which I can codify later. It's a huge contradiction. So my constitutional rights got violated. He eventually rotated off the bench, but he never recused himself. Then Lori Bustamante gets on the case, tries to complete his railroad. She just now recuses herself. But here's what I found on the Bustamantes. These are all separate issues. Here's why, as a citizen of the United States of America and a former resident there, I'm going to tell you some things that are for the public good. Lori Bustamante's husband, Manny Bustamante, has been the Avondale prosecutor since 2002 with the private firm Bustamante and Kuffner. If there's some mechanism inside of the law by where Lori Bustamante relinquishes her financial interest in Bustamante and Kuffner while she's a judge. And however, it's our contention that by community law standards in the state of Arizona, eventually she's going to resume her position as that owner president and or retire and be the citizen Lori Bustamante, wife of Manny Bustamante. So in essence, she currently right now, in our view, holds a financial interest in the success of this contract of Manny's being efficient. Edward Maldonado, this is years ago. 2002, Mr. Bustamante becomes prosecutor. 2005, this Edward Maldonado is the county attorney. Now you flash forward now, Patrick, to now. Edward Maldonado shares the same address still with Prosecutor Bustamante. I found other evidence that Edward Maldonado is indeed not reformed whatsoever. Contrary, actually, he is ripping off Arizona consumers. You can find tons of information on this. That's just another piece of it, Patrick. So you've got this prosecutor basically sanctioning this crime. So I'm kind of done talking now. And so based on that information, Patrick, I would like to know is, would you like to take some time and call me back? Or what's the next steps the governor's office would like to do in this situation?
Well, I appreciate you bringing this information to our attention. I'm not exactly sure what to do with it at this point. The governor's office generally does not, we are not, as I understand it, have an investigatory arm.
Well, he's the executive of the state. I'm going to give you a couple other tidbits. And I've said this before online, and this is being recorded. Everything's in the public domain, Patrick. I got a call from Rick DeBrule. Okay, and I encourage you to watch this. It's right on the YouTube channel. And he calls me up, and I explain. I had almost even a more detailed explanation of what I just gave you. Hold on, everybody. I got an incoming call. Maybe it's one we want to record. This is Gordon. Can I help you?
Gordon, this is Rick DeBrule, the State Bar of Arizona.
Hey, Rick. How are you?
Very well. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. Just really busy working on this story here. So thanks for calling me back. So I left a message, I believe, with Miss Tepper.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you end up with all their names, but they're in our member service department. So I'm the chief communication officer, and so I respond to all media contacts, but they don't actually have anything to do with lawyer regulation.
Okay, anyway, so. Fair enough. Well, sorry for the confusion there. I was just trying to, one up the data I was finding on the line. So, well, thanks for calling me back, sir. I do appreciate that. So did you have a chance to review any of the material on forevereven.com?
No, just what's your question?
Oh, okay. So it's not a question. Well, yeah, there is a question, actually. So we've been doing an investigation. We started with a documentary film about a year and a half ago, and it was focused on Judge William Brotherton's abuse of power, and we're making a documentary about it. That's how it all started. Recently, it's really heated up as we've been investigating. I'll give you what's relevant. So Manny Bustamante, the prosecutor there in Avondale, has a guy by the name of Edward Maldonado that shares the same address with him. We've ran into some information that looks like he might have done some weird stuff to get his bar license initially, and then we found a document from 2005 where Maldonado was made a county attorney about 3 years subsequent to when we found a document published that Manny officially was certainly the prosecutor for Avondale. To compound things, Judge Lori Horn Bustamante, over there in the Superior Court, put on her disclosures that she's owner. So now it's getting to a point where, Lori Bustamante or Judge Bustamante has a financial interest, even if she's, there's certain procedures in place by where she relinquishes, say, her interest in the firm while she's a judge. By community law standards, she still has, we feel, an interest in the success of this contract that Manny manages. So, but then to compound it, this Edward Maldonado been committing criminal acts, actually against the public and the consumers in Arizona, in DUI cases and DUI clients. Then we found a further scam. Now, this is just part of it, sir. So at the beginning of the call, you asked, you asked what I needed. I'm just looking for a statement at this point, is if the Arizona State Bar, based on what I just told you, if you can codify that by going on the website and looking at docs that are in the public domain, if you guys are going to open up an investigation on this on the bar with all these actors, and, that's what we're looking for, that comment.
Well, I can't comment on this case specifically. I can just tell you that when we get complaints that are filed against a specific individual, we always look into every complaint that's filed against any particular attorney. I literally know nothing about this case. I have no idea whether we have any involvement with any of these individuals you mentioned.
Well, you're the Arizona State Bar, correct?
I am not. I am the Chief Communication Officer for the State Bar of Arizona.
Well, but you're representing the Arizona State Bar on this phone call. Isn't that why you called me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so therefore, the question becomes, and if you can't give me a comment right now, I appreciate that, sir, because
my comment is very specific. If someone files a complaint against an attorney, we will always look into that.
Excuse me, sir, have I raised my voice? Sir, have I?
But at this point, I don't know that a complaint has been filed against.
No, there is no complaint that has been filed because we're doing an investigative journalism piece about it, and we're going to start popping this all over the country, and we're seeing who wants to be proactive because, sir, Pat Patak, press secretary of Governor Ducey's office, was talking to us initially, and then they started hiding from us and not returning calls. So, sir, my question is, would you like to talk to your superiors, give this data to them, and see if they would like to look at the very least, open up an investigation without me having to file a bunch of arbitrary paperwork, or would you just like to go down that course of action where you're just going to tell me to file something? What would you like to do?
I'm going to tell you to file a complaint the way every complaint is filed, the way it comes to our organization.
Okay. And how do I do so?
You go onto our website, look up how to file a complaint against an attorney, and just follow that process.
Okay. And give me your name one more time, sir, please.
Sure. My name is Rick. Last name is Duprul. D as in dog. E, capital B as in boy. R, U-H-L.
Okay. And what's your official title there at the State Bar, Rick?
My official title is I'm the Chief Communication Officer.
Chief Communication Officer. Okay. And who, if I wanted to ask, if I wasn't satisfied with the answer you just gave me to take that route, who would I talk to instead? Who's above you?
Our CEO is John Phelps.
Okay, hold on just a second. I want to make sure I got to get another piece of paper. Bear with me. John Phelps. Is that spelled J-O-H-N or J-O-N?
J-O-H-N.
J-O-H-N. Phelps. Okay, and what's his title again? Sorry.
He's the CEO.
CEO of the bar. State
Yes.
Bar. Got it.
It's the State Bar of Arizona.
Of Arizona. Okay, great. And you were a newscaster for a while out there, weren't you? I believe?
I was.
Okay, great. And I'm recording this call for publishing. Is that okay with you?
Once again, I have no problem with that.
Thanks, Rick. Have a great day.
All right, bye.
Well, that was an interesting phone call. So he said this is, and I'm quoting, have no idea whether we have any involvement with any of these individuals you've mentioned. So in other words, he's trying to say that the State Bar of Arizona doesn't have anything to do with judges and lawyers and bad actors holding a law license. I caught him lying and I published it. The following morning, Patrick, Bram Resnick calls me up. Tried to give him the story. And then you can listen and hear what happened on that one. Okay, great. How you doing today?
Good, you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Let me go get some privacy. Bear with me just a moment. Okay, I'm sorry. Can you give me your name again?
Sure. Bram Resnick with KPNX in Phoenix.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you, Bram. So how did you get my message that I called into the news desk, or?
You left a message on my phone line.
Okay, great. So what's your title over there?
I cover politics. Who are you?
I'm a real journalist, dude. Oh, okay, awesome. My name's Gordon Rose, and I'm founder of The Uneven. Did you have a chance to go to forevereven.com?
I looked at some of it. What's your tip about Arizona?
Well, there's a lot of tips.
I just need one. I don't have all day.
Hey, guess what? With that kind of attitude, I'm not even going to give you the story. How about that? And I'm going to post this tonight to show. I'm going to post how you do business too. Cool?
You do that.
I will. Sure. Bye-bye. Okay, now what you've got, Patrick, is you've got Rick DeBrule. I remember I grew up out there. He's been with Channel 12 for a long time. He's got a contract with the state as their mouthpiece. He's the chief communications officer. So I find it kind of funny how I get a call from Rick DeBrule, okay, and then the next morning I get a call from Bram. It's just a lot of weird connections, Patrick. Now, I'm not insinuating anything other than reporting what's happening. I'm trying to give Governor Ducey a chance to be proactive. What I'm doing is not a joke, Patrick. So that's the scope. You know, I understand you're telling me things at the beginning of this call that you weren't familiar with. It's a little disingenuous, Patrick. You are familiar. So again, I'm going to shut up now and ask you, would you like to talk to the governor, or would you like to talk to somebody there and figure out what you guys want to do next? Or is it just going to be, again, like a no comment and just there? What are we doing?
Well, as I mentioned, I'm not 100% sure exactly the next steps with you here. I do appreciate, as I mentioned, you bringing this information to us. I'm not discounting it, like you said, but I'm not sure that the governor's office is the best avenue for whatever recourse you're looking for.
It is, because, Patrick, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, and then we can...
Hold on.
Go
I'm
ahead.
giving you a little bit of time to talk here.
My apologies. Go ahead, sir. Sorry. Go ahead.
If it is legal recourse related to a case of yours, I would suggest either seeking out legal representation, or I know our constituent services offices often suggest legal services that are out there that help people, because as I think I mentioned during our first conversation, the governor's office does not get involved in legal proceedings.
And that's not what I'm asking for.
Powers.
Yeah, I agree. And in sake of, I got to stop you though when you give me a red herring, Patrick. So please let me address it, and then I'll give you the floor back. That's not what I'm asking for. I've made it very clear, and I'll publish this tonight. There are two issues going on here. You're absolutely right. My constitutional rights as an individual named Gordon Rose, my children's constitutional rights have absolutely been violated by the state. All right? So there's a whole separate issue. What I'm asking for, and I've made this very clear, this phone conversation is not, I'm not in the capacity of Gordon Rose, an individual with a grievance against the state. I'm in the capacity of editor-in-chief, founder of clipartistfilms.com. I'm calling you as a journalist and a documentary filmmaker who's uncovered extreme amounts of corruption that go all the way up to the governor's office. Patrick, I'm going to be candid with you, sir. All right? So I'm asking the governor's office again, are you guys going to make a comment, yes or no, if you're going to investigate the Bustamantes based upon what I found as a journalist? That's it. That's one step at a time. I want that answer. And if it's no comment now, that's fine. If it's no comment, let me check and call you back. That's fine. I don't care what the answer is. The people deserve an answer. So we're going to get an answer. Go ahead.
You mentioned that this involves the governor's office, and I did not pick that up when you were describing the situation.
Because what I'm doing, Patrick, and let's be candid with each other, since I initially called you versus this call, a lot of funny businesses happen. Your phone system disconnected, Patrick, within hours after I had I think it's about a 6 or 7 minute detailed handwritten message to one of your secretaries in there. Okay, so I gave the 3:30 deadline for the governor's office to make a comment if they were going to start investigating the relationships between the Bustamante and Kuffner law firm and Judge Lori Bustamante's concentration of power.
Thank you for calling Arizona Governor Doug Ducey's office. Due to an unforeseen technical difficulty, we are unable to take your call at this time. We invite you to call again at a later time.
What?
We also invite you to visit.
Technical difficulty, my ass. What?
If you wish to leave a message or leave a comment for the governor, please press 2. Thank you for calling Arizona Governor Doug Ducey's office. Due to an unforeseen technical difficulty, we are unable to take your call at this time. We invite you to call again at your time. We also invite you to visit
Well, that's really odd because I've been calling since last week. I made contact with Papatak. I've gone through the automated
Thank you for
system.
calling the office of Arizona Governor.
Exact same way every time.
Here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. comment for the governor. Please press 2. If you please provide your name, phone number, email, and zip code along with your comment. Please press 1 now. To return to the previous menu, press 9.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Yeah, hi, this message is for Governor Ducey. It's Gordon Rose, clipartistfilms.com. It's about, I believe, 3:48 Phoenix time. I called earlier today and I left a very specific message for you, sir. And it says nothing to do with my personal grievance with the state of Arizona. It's definitely in the capacity, Governor Ducey, as an investigative journalist. And Clip Artist Films has opened up an investigation into what I stumbled on today and last night, which is a really weird, seems like relationship between Manny Bustamante, Lori Bustamante, their professional capacities, the concentrations of power. You can go online and read or listen to and watch the videos I did, as well as it's all right there, sir. Okay, so there's that. The other thing I want to leave a message for is I've gone through your automated system the exact same way every single time to get to Pat Patak, and all of a sudden, as of this morning, he was cordial enough to take calls for the first couple of days last week, and then now all of a sudden he is not responding to messages, and now all of a sudden I can't get through. You're having technical difficulties all of a sudden on your system, sir. In about an hour and a half, it might be a little late, I'm putting on a special report. It's about an hour and a half long, and I really hope that you watch it, sir. 678 clipartistfilms.com. Thank you. Alrighty, so we'll see what happens from there. There's public records requests I can file, but again, the bottom line is, look at me, Patrick, and for lack of a better way to describe the situation, okay? If I was Geraldo Rivera calling up, the governor would talk to me, or you guys would talk to me. I'm a journalist. I've uncovered all this nastiness. You guys can keep telling me go a different direction, which I will. That's fine. Okay, I've already called the FBI. I've already left 2 messages with them. I really suggest you guys watch every single video I've published in the last 2 weeks. You guys look at the evidence I posted on Twitter. Governor Ducey actually sits down and takes a bit of his time out of his schedule and watches my message to him. Patrick. Again, here we go.
Well, I appreciate you passing this information on. To answer your question, as of now, we do have no comment. And that's what I have for you at the moment.
Okay. So does Governor Ducey's office have direct authority and legal supervision out of his office over the State Bar of Arizona?
Listen, I'm gonna stand by what I just told you.
Okay, I'll take your no comment. I'm asking a separate question. It's a valid question. Does Governor Ducey's office hold purview directly over the State Bar of Arizona? Does he have actionable power over that particular entity from his executive office? Yes or no? You should know the answer to that question, Patrick.
I'm not sure, actually. It's something that I can look into, but as for comment, we do not have comment.
Okay. All right, I'll take your no comment for right now. Would you like to offer us an opportunity to follow up with you guys, or would you guys like to set a date for another phone call?
this point, I'm not setting any date.
Fair enough. All right, I'm going to publish. Fair enough. I'll take that as the end of the conversation. I'll publish this along with any other recordings I have, and we'll just go from there, I guess. Okay, Patrick?
Again, thank you very much for calling, and you have a great day.
Hey, you do the same, Patrick. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, you guys, you heard it. These guys are out of their minds. All right, so we'll just keep trucking away here. More to come, I'm sure.
No, that's okay.
Let me see if my Bluetooth works a little better. Hold on, sorry.
All right.
Bear with me. Yeah, I really appreciate you calling me back. Some important data.
Hey, no problem.
Let's see here. Can you hear me now?
I can, yes.
Okay, great. All right, so the reason I was calling, this is, you said PD, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So the reason I was calling you guys is I'm an investigative journalist in Georgia, and we've been working on a piece for about a year. We broke wide open over the weekend, and as it turns out, the prosecutor's office for your city, crime ring, and yeah, you can go on forevereven.com, and let's see.
Forever Even, all one word?
Yeah, all one word. That's our news site, and you know, you can do probably. I mean, there's so much material and content, but if you do probably episode 1, which is. We even got the press secretary for Governor Ducey tried to cover up too. It's pretty bad stuff. So I think what's relevant for you guys is so that we have like a case you can open. And I guess the crime in your city is that they're taking your taxpayer funds. You know, obviously as prosecutor, they're running 4 scams. 2 we've already proved, and then the other 2 we're close to proving. Actually shares that address. And this guy, it's a long story, but Andrew Thomas appointed him in 2005 as a county attorney. It's just a long story, but flash forward to 2017, this guy shares an office with your prosecutor, and what he does is advertise himself as defensive DUI attorney while his DUIs. And then what he does is he takes retainers and rips people off. There's all kinds of reviews all over online. And there's a lot more to that. You can do your research there. It's my view, it's almost proved. Wife, and you may or may not know she's Superior Court judge. If you go find about 15 years, and actually if you go to forevereven.com and you go on the Twitter link, if you go, we've just been slamming up so much evidence, but there's a run of material from about 2 days ago where what we did is we just made briefs on everything. And so what it was, and by the way, sir, I have literally, and I can send this to you, and I haven't published these yet, but I have about 40 cold calls we've made trying to get comments, and everybody's hiding, which is pretty, it's pretty obvious what's going on. So the 4th one, and this is really messed up, a nonprofit called, and then a lot of really weird associations. So there's all that. There's other issues. We've got higher level issues that, and the reason I'm handing off to the police departments at this point is, if you look at episode 1 on our site about halfway through, Pat Patak's press secretary got caught covering up, and we published it. Help Penn this went all the way up to the governor's office and chummed up with him. You got through, which is starting to look like, again, I can't get into all that right now because we've got research to do, but so I just want to get this initial data off to you, at least on that kind of granular level with your contract with them. And, if you guys want to open up your own investigation and really start digging, we're happy to send you any data we already have.
Well, I really appreciate the phone call, Gordon, and while you've thrown a lot on my plate here and a lot to take a look at, it's going to take you some time. It sounds like you've got a lot of time and effort invested into this.
Over a year, sir, yeah. I actually, do you know why I left Arizona?
Like you've really done your homework, too.
Still can't get back in the state. They replaced him as the judge to finish the railroad. They're on nonprofit board together. That nonprofit looks dirty too. So just an FYI there, that was my motivation when this all started. And lo and behold, I think I've uncovered a lot of stuff. I went to Attorney Bromovich's office with this data. They finally gave me a call back yesterday. He's dirty too. they're all dirty. Anyway, so there you go. So yeah, there's a handoff for you, sir.
Well, I appreciate it, and we'll sure look into the number 1 racism.
Oh, for sure. anyway, so there you go. So yeah, there's a handout for you, sir.
Well, I appreciate it, and
Talk to you soon.
we'll look into the moment. I don't think that's really number of reasons.
Oh, for sure.
I'm Sergeant. Thank you.
Now I got to call the AG back with another update.
Okay, you take care now.
Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Special Investigations.
Hey, it's Gordon calling back the whistleblower. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Gordon. How are you?
Oh, I'm sorry to keep bugging you guys, but every time I hang up with you, some new development happens, and this one's ultimately important. So, 4 cops just came to my house in Georgia. I don't know if Brotherton did it or if did it, whoever did it, but they're trying to get me arrested for threatening a judge. Now, what they don't know is that my neighbors in the so they let me know what it was, even though I wasn't there, because I told them it's a constitutional issue. So I got that intel. So now the latest development is that it was about an hour ago. They're trying to arrest me for threatening a judge. I haven't threatened anyone. The only thing I've done is I'm exposing their corruption. So now they're trying to abuse their power greater. It was the verbatim I got, and I recorded my friend telling me, so I have proof of this, is that it's I think it was verbatim that you're threatening a judge in Arizona. Now, what they did is they came with 1 officer and 3 hid down the street. I mean, they were getting real tactical on me. So it's now the second time for exercising my First Amendment that the state of Arizona is trying to persecute me. So I don't know, again, if that elevates the situation even more now.
And that I don't know. You were dealing with Agent Madsen, correct?
Yes.
Okay, hold on a moment.
Thank you. Is that all I got, babe? Is some cheesy warrant that's not even factual? It's twice now.
Gordon?
Yes.
Okay, Annalisa isn't available right now, but I did give her your message. She said to let you know that your complaint is in the process of being reviewed, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
No, I know that, and I got that message about a half hour ago.
You have reached the City of Charleston Police Department. Police Department, how can I help you?
Yeah, hey, it's Gordon calling back. I have to call my lawyers in a bit. Can I just leave a message for them? Because it sounds like they're busy.
Yeah. What's your number?
Okay, it's 678, and I'm going to give you a really important tip to give to Sergeant Smith. It's crucial, please. Since he and I last...
Do you want me to put you over to his voicemail so that you can leave this specifically for him?
I will, and then when you see him, will you say, hey, check that as super important? Can you do that if you see him?
Definitely. Let
right.
me go ahead and get you over.
Okay, thank you.
Your call is being answered by Audix.
Commander Rudy Mendoza.
Is not available. To leave a message, wait for the tone. Call in.
That's suspicious. Why am I getting Rudy Mendoza when I want Sergeant Smith?
You have reached the City of Charleston Police Department. Police Department, how can I help you?
Hey, it's Gordon one more time. I got a voicemail for Commander Rudy Mendoza. Honestly, I don't feel comfortable giving this data to anybody but Sergeant Smith. It's really big, major stuff. So Sergeant Smith is one of the only people that hasn't obstructed me. You understand? So I got this information I have. I've already left a message with Commander Mendoza last night and I never heard back. So I can't trust anyone other than someone in the AG's office and then Sergeant Smith. So I got to get this data to his voicemail. The problem is when you transferred me, it went to Commander Rudy's. It didn't go to Sergeant Smith's.
So the reason for that is because Commander Mendoza is the one who's handling it.
Oh, so Sergeant Smith So Sergeant Smith is no longer handling this at all?
Correct. Commander Mendoza is handling it from here on out.
I see. Okay, then if that's the case, then I will email somebody right now so I can avoid this other call, and I will absolutely hold until he gets on the phone. No problem. My apologies.
You're going to hold it until he's available?
I have to, because it wasn't disclosed to me before up until right now that he's the one handling it, and I disclosed to you that I was trying to get the data to Sergeant Smith, so I have to hold. I have to talk to him because I got to publish a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So.
All right, I'll go ahead. I'm going to place you on a hold then until he's available. Okay?
Okay. I hope it's soon. Thank you.
It should be.
Hey, babe. They're dirty. Can you tell? See what they did? Mendoza's probably buddies with Manny or something. That was very deceptive what they did.
The commander?
Yeah. Don't you think?
Yes.
Yes. It's getting a little weird with you guys now. So I'm going to leave you guys. I'm going to leave you my number, 678-901.
No. Hold on, Gordon. He freed up when you disconnected.
That's wonderful. I'm sorry to be so abrupt. But
Hold on just a moment.
Thank you so much.
Your call is being answered by Audit.
Commander Rudy Mendoza.
Got voicemail again. What are they doing?
You have reached the city of Charleston. Police department, how may I help you?
Yeah, this is the whistleblower Gordon Rose calling for Commander Mendoza, and he was trying to take my call, but it went to voicemail. So can you tell him I'm on the phone, please?
Yes, hold on just one moment.
I was talking to another lady a minute ago, and she transferred me. Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, back up there.
Hold on just one moment.
Okay, thank you.
Commander Mendoza.
Commander Mendoza, Gordon Rose, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, sir?
You know, sir, I've had this is probably the trippiest week of my life. I'm glad I got you on the phone, sir. So before I give you some information, are you completely familiar with who I am and why I'm calling?
I'm a little bit familiar.
Okay.
I spoke with the investigator from the Attorney General's office this morning.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little bit familiar with what's going on.
Okay, cool. Well, first off, let me thank you, sir, for your department, you being a patriot, and Sergeant Smith.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Commander, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hold on. Can you hear me? Commander, can you hear me? Okay, sorry, man. I got weird shit on my phones, man. Okay, so did you go to forevereven.com yet, sir, and have a chance to look at that?
I looked at a few of the videos he had. I didn't see everything.
Okay.
I just trying to figure out kind of what's going on based on the phone call you made here yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. So let me give you the relevant data, okay? Because there's so much going on, but I want to be able to give you like what you need. So to cut right to the chase, prosecutor Manny Bustamante is running an organized crime ring out of that night, no doubt open and shut. We found 2 scams that we nailed down. There's 2 more that are probable where it involves the State Bar of Arizona. Governor Ducey's office got caught covering up. There's a lot of politics at play here too. I'm in hiding because I've had death threats, you can imagine, and things like that. I've got some help to get me back into Arizona. I'm hoping that Special Agent Madsen at the Attorney General's office can make sure that the unconstitutional warrant. So the update I want to give you is that since I last talked to Sergeant Smith, Bob Romantic from Grand Canyon State University, he's the Chief Communications Officer, called our podcast, and he tried to cover up and disavowed the nonprofit that Judge Bustamante, Manny's wife, is the trustee of, and Bill Brotherton is the trustee of. It's like a huge moment to where finally somebody else is like separating from the scam. So I wanted to give you guys that heads up, because what I want to know from you guys, what else do you need from me, evidence-wise, to get an arrest going?
Here's my question.
Yes.
Just follow me on this.
Please.
Manny Bustamante is our city prosecutor, correct?
Yes.
You understand that, right?
Yes.
Okay. The crimes that you're alleging are not occurring in the city of Tulsa.
They are, and here's my proposition.
Okay. You gave me an address. Okay, and that's not in the city of Tulsa, but I want to hear what you're trying to say.
Okay, 2 things. First of all, Phoenix PD is obstructing. Part of what I'm publishing tonight, and that's why I'm so glad I got you on the phone, this is what they're trying to kill me for, I think, honestly, is I've got 40 phone calls of police departments obstructing, TV stations obstructing, okay? It's like that.
Yeah, I saw the. I listened to your brand resonance.
Yeah. That's a mild one. Okay, but here's the thing. To answer your question, I think where the crime takes place in your city is that he's taking taxpayer funds, and that check is being written out of your office, because that's the crime. Is they're taking taxpayer funds to run the organized crime ring. The other problem is Phoenix PD won't talk to me, so I'm sure they're getting bribed or something. You see what I mean? So that's the issue.
Hey, Gordon, let me ask you something. You didn't think who's trying to kill you?
Well, I got death threats back in May. I called them into Bill Brotherton's office, which I'm going to publish tonight, and I emailed Bill Brotherton, the judge, and he ignored me. I went into hiding in May. I just came out of hiding a month ago, sir, and then I started leaking. Since I started leaking, I've gotten all kinds.
What was the actual threat? What was said?
I can read it to you verbatim, sir. Hold on. And I'm glad you're asking this, because I'm looking for protection, sir. Hold on a second.
I want to hear what.
I'm gonna read it to you verbatim, sir. Hold on.
Okay.
Bear with me.
No problem.
And to give you a background on this too, when the death threats came in, I immediately called a PI where the area code was, and he said, "Hey, it looks like a burner phone." I'm like, "Okay, great." So that's when I went on the run. And then when I finally came back to Georgia, like a couple months later, I was afraid to call the cops because of the warrant, right? I didn't want to get extradited because they're trying to get me. So I said a big prayer, and I called the cops, and they didn't. Thank God it wasn't in the system. So Polk County Police also has a copy of this in Georgia, and when that detective researched it, he said the same thing. He goes, "I don't know what you're into, dude, but it's a burner phone. I can't find shit." He's like, tread carefully. So that's the background. All right, here is the death threat. It came in. Get you a date in a minute. The first thing was, it said Gordon ? And then I said yes, and he says, "Okay, good, go fuck yourself. I'll be finding you shortly. See you soon, asshole," with an emoji like a smile. And then I said, "Good," trying to draw him out, whoever he is. And he goes, "Hope you rot in hell where you belong, you psychotic dickhead. You deserve every inch of pain you're about to endure. Remember that." And then I said some things to try and smoke him out a little bit more. And then he goes, or she goes, or whoever it is, "You will never know. The only thing you may know is that one day you will foolishly have your back turned and will be crucified for your devilish ways. You and the people you have ever thought of loving will pay the ultimate price for your sins. I am just a bystander in the Lord's name. I can promise you a damned eternity in hell. The first time you should have tried harder. It would have just shortened the pain you will witness. Like I said, I'll see you soon, you you won't see me, I'd repent, with a ghost emoji. And then the one sentence that's really creepy is when he says, the first time you should have tried harder. When my divorce went down and Judge Brotherton freaking stole my kids, I had some suicide issues. So, it's somebody real intimate to my case that knows that. So that's why I freaked out, too.
Hey, Gordon, you still feel suicidal?
Oh, not at all, brother. The Lord Jesus Christ saved me in March. That's why this is all happening, dude. It's a long story. No, I'm not at all. Nope. Sound mind, sir. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? Commander, can you hear me? Commander, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Commander, can you hear me? Commander? Yeah, can you hear me now? Hold on. Hello? Fuck! Dude, we got 4 bars and that shit just cut off.
You have reached the City of Charleston Police Department.
You backing me up? Hello? Yeah, it's Gordon Rose. Commander, when I were just talking, it got disconnected. Can you tell him I'm back on the line?
Let me transfer you back.
Thank you.
Commander Mendoza.
There, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, man. I apologize, man. Weird shit happened. I had 4 bars and then it disconnected. Okay. So, yeah,
That's okay.
not suicidal, sir, whatsoever. Thanks for asking.
Okay. I just want to make sure that you're okay.
No, you
My
know
other
what
question is...
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
My other question is, you said that you feel that people are out to get you, but that you're coming back to Arizona?
I have no choice at this point because what I'm about to leak tonight, I got News Channel 12 obstructing. I got the State Bar of Arizona. It seems like they're in it, bro. And I'm sorry to call you bro. It's just my style.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I call everybody brother too, so I'm not...
Okay. So, I mean, you got Rick DeBrule called up and pretended like he didn't know Ed Maldonado. And then I see him side by side on a bill. Then he blocks me. Arizona State Bar blocked me from their Twitter. So, I mean, the thing is, man, I can't tell you the amount of weird, creepy spy shit that's happened the last few weeks. Going back to Arizona, and the federal government won't protect me, sir. So all I can do is go to downtown Phoenix with my uneven hat on, with all my evidence, and stand there in front of the public square. That's all.
Okay. Gordon, let me ask you a couple questions now.
Yeah.
Are you armed or carrying any weapons right now?
No.
You're not. Are you being honest?
Yes.
Because so far you've been very truthful with me and forthcoming. I just want to make sure that we keep this type of relationship where you're being honest.
Why are you asking me that question?
Because I don't want this to turn into a confrontation where you feel like whoever's threatening you, because I don't want to see you get hurt. I don't. Okay? My job is to protect everybody. Yeah. Everybody.
Okay.
Okay? That's you. That's everybody. I don't want to see you get hurt. And I don't want to see any type of situation where people are taking shots at each other. That's it. That's the only reason why I'm asking that question.
Yes,
okay?
Sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
I have a job to do.
Fair enough.
So I hope you can understand that.
Dude, you're the first patriot I've talked to, sir, other than Special Agent Madsen. So I'm all ears. So I understand why you asked. Go ahead.
Well, Gordon, what is your warrant for?
I had previously appeared telephonically. Okay, because I travel a lot.
Okay.
The judge wouldn't let me appear telephonically. Said I had to come all the way back to Arizona. Locked me out of the hearing, and then on that hearing, he spent an hour and a half in the hearing, it's all in the minutes, where he asked my ex-wife if I was actually making a movie about his abuse of power. I had already started making the movie months before, when this all shit started. David Goldfarb comes out of that hearing and calls me up and says, "Hey, dude, you got a warrant." I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "He put you a warrant out for you for not showing up." I go, "Dude, that's unconstitutional. We already both knew that." And so this is the thing. The warrant I have out for my arrest is an unconstitutional warrant put out by this criminal judge. It's completely fake. So that's the other issue. So, and then here's
Gordon, can you tell me what jurisdiction? Can you tell me what jurisdiction your warrant's out of?
Well, that's the other weird thing.
Because has anybody ever confirmed to you if you had a warrant or not?
Yes.
Other than
yes.
Would you like for me to do that though? Would you like for me to confirm?
It doesn't, sir. The level of corruption is so deep. I would like you to check, but to answer your question, let me finish the story. I went to.
Okay, I apologize.
That's okay. I went to the United Kingdom, and on my way back, I flew into Dallas, and I had to change over to Atlanta. Homeland Security tried to arrest me. I go, why are you arresting me? And they knew my whole story. They knew where I was going. I'm like, listen, I reside in the state of Georgia. I'm being persecuted. I had to go through the whole thing with him. And he goes, well, hey, dude, you got a plane ticket to Georgia? And luckily, I had bought an exchange to Phoenix and one to Atlanta. I showed him the Atlanta ticket and got out. So that's okay. So that's the warrant. So now, but here's the other thing. When I started dealing with Scottsdale PD, after I safely got back in the States, I've had officers look it up and go, I don't see anything. And then I've had people look it up and say, I see it. So that part's really weird too. Yeah.
Okay. Would you like for me to look to see if you have a warrant?
Sure.
Okay. So Gordon Rose, correct? Okay. How are you doing on battery for your cell phone right now?
I'm beautiful.
Okay. I'm going to go run this into dispatch and I'll come back with your answer because I can't run it from my desktop.
Yeah.
That's
You're just going to put me on hold?
I'm going to put you on hold.
I think intentionally, by beyond a reasonable doubt, he has violated the order. I think he's done it intentionally in order to either somehow prove to the court that he doesn't have to follow orders. I don't really know what his intent is. Again, I don't know how much of what Father says is real or imagined. He suffers from mental health issues. Is he a film producer? I never heard him say that in court. He always talked about some kind of telemarketing things and stuff like that. Okay, so you've never heard before that he had a film company and was making movies. Okay. Well, I'm still on the contempt issue. But what I'm going to do is this. He failed to appear today. Okay. With regard to the issue of the contempt, I do find that he's in criminal contempt for violating the order. He's not appeared here. I'm going to order that he serve a term of 48 hours, 2 days in jail because of that fact. The behavior is very contemptuous. I don't have any evidence directly that it's because of mental illness. Now, with regard to the emails that were filed, I was going to ask Father what the purpose of writing and sending this email was. It seemed to me clearly it was designed to try to influence the outcome of this case. Otherwise, why send out a email and send it to members of the media? That in and of itself is inappropriate because the decisions the court makes are only based on evidence presented here in court, and an attempt by a party to influence that in some other form or fashion is inappropriate. I don't think there's anything else to address.
This case going forward, then?
Pardon?
Is it your intent to maintain this case going forward?
Why wouldn't I?
Accusing yourself, are you, Judge? I was concerned that when we walked in today, there were 3 of us involved, and I wasn't sure on the way walking out how many of us were going to stay involved. It is, as I say, I've not had the opportunity to ask Mr. Rose what the intent of his filing this email was. A couple of days ago, I think Exhibit 10, I guess it was. Yeah. 10? Yeah. But, my concern is actually, and I think anyone who would read that email would have some concern for Mr. Rose's mental health. It is somewhat of a run-on with, again, it raised concerns to me about the state of his mental health. I did order, as I said, I think I ordered that the court-appointed advisor, maybe I didn't, will review Exhibits 9 and 10, those two emails, and also report back to the court in the supplemental report as to her, if the court-appointed advisor has any concerns with regard to father's current mental health based on those writings. But it's inappropriate at this point. I'm not sure what action, if any, I will take on it. But the purpose, I think, was to put pressure on the court or to cause the court to recuse itself. The first is not going to work because I don't submit to pressure. That is not what judges do. The second, again, I certainly don't have any animosity or any issues with Mr. Rose. Personally, as I stated before, I think this email seemed to be generated by the fact that I wouldn't allow him to appear telephonically, which I have in the past, just not evidentiary hearing. But actually, I have a sincere concern about his mental health. The email seemed to also be sent from an iPhone, which, again, to have written that out on an iPhone also seems unusual. And so I have some real concerns with regard to his mental health. That still doesn't mean he hasn't violated the court order.
I did hear through the grapevine that Judge Bustamante said that if you file paperwork, she'd quash the warrant.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm actually exposing the fact that Bill Brotherton and Judge Bustamante have a personal relationship, and she shouldn't even be on the case. She's trying to complete his railroad, and that's what the film and then now the investigative journalist piece is about. Do you know something about through the grapevine about that, Roy?
You sent me you sent some kind of video or something, and I think that's where I picked up your comment on that issue.
Oh, I see. So that was the grapevine that you heard. Okay. Well, that's good to clear that. That's good to clear that up. Okay, great. So the suggestion I would make, I mean, ethically speaking, knowing that this whole court system is corrupt and that, David Goldfarb was asked by a judge why he hadn't resigned from my case yet when they issued the warrant in the first place. Do you know what third-party judge that wasn't Brotherton or Bustamante that had asked Goldfarb why he hadn't resigned yet? Do you happen to know who that judge was? You were there that day.
I'm sure Goldfarb could tell you who it was. I'm not one into he said, she said stuff, Gordon. Yeah. Hopefully you know it now, okay?
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Okay. Anything else?
Well, you're the one that called me, so hopefully.
So you don't want to make a comment for the documentary. You gave me a no comment, but then you proceeded to tell me grapevine information. That's what just happened on this recorded phone call, isn't it? I mean, I can play it back.
You can do whatever you want, Gordon.
I know I can. I'm an American citizen with constitutional rights, just like you, Roy. Oh, he hung up. What a chicken! It's about a 2-hour-long special report today with a lot of data. I'm finding a lot of data, everyone. Governor Doug Ducey is addressing a lot of major problems. I announced yesterday that after giving the governor's office in Arizona many opportunities to address what on the surface looks like at the very least, at the very least you have the attorney, the prosecutor for Avondale, taking a paycheck from taxpayers, harboring in his office.
A Phoenix man is in trouble with the law twice over. 44-year-old Gordon Rose arrested for harassing a Maricopa County Superior Court judge who officers say recently took over a family case involving Rose. We're told officers were called when Rose started contacting places the judge's children go.
Oh, that's awesome. You guys are calling me back. That's great. All right. So did you have a chance to go on the forevereven.com site?
No, actually, I wanted to make sure this was the right jurisdiction. Prosecutor's office?
Is this Mark Bronovich, Attorney General's office? Or who's...
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, this is definitely your guys' jurisdiction.
I've never heard of the prosecutor's office, so I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, yeah, no. This is...
You mean the city court?
Yeah, ma'am. It's... let me redirect what we're talking about here. The prosecutor is one round. It's actually Governor Ducey we need you guys to investigate. And I'll tell you why.
I feel you all around me, even through the storms. People have these clouds around me, move them out of way and fall. Get to the horizon, good. Get to the horizon, girl. Get to the horizon, girl. I don't know what's inside me, except a bit of standing still. I feel you all around me. I'm no longer on those pills. Gotta get to the horizon, girl. Horizon, girl. Gotta get to the horizon, girl. Gotta get to the horizon, girl. Gotta get to the horizon, girl.